Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is Horace Dobson from Evil Life Wellness and Horace Unplugged, the podcast. And actually, this information is for both. There seems still to be a lot of confusion over some of the products that we sell with Evil Life Wellness. We help clients lose weight. We help clients get in shape, gain muscle, help men gain muscle, help women gain muscle, help men and women both lose fat. But I need to distinguish between fat loss, fat destruction, fat incapacitation, and fat burning. They're all different, even though they might all look the same as far as the final result. Let me explain that. Let me unpackage that. There's only a few ways to lose fat. Number one, everyone knows diet and exercise. But diet and exercise you do not lose fat when you diet or exercise. What happens is your fat cells just shrink. Let me put it on the board here. You have a fat cell, and say you're 30% or your BMI is 30 or you're 30% body fat. It looks like that. So when you diet and exercise, you decrease what your body needs per day as far as caloric consumption. So this here just goes to like that. All the fatty acids come out and go to your different cells, your brain, your liver, your heart, to nourish your body, since you're not taking in enough, say, carbohydrates and things like that. So the fat cell expels the fat out of the cell. So the adipose cell is there. If you were born with 25 billion fat cells, you have 25 billion fat cells. Now, a fat cell can engorge itself and become 100 times bigger than its normal size, because it can just expand and expand, expand, expand. It can constantly take in more. Now, that's not a bad thing. People think fat is bad, but fat is actually good. I didn't do it for this quick presentation today, but with me and say my body fat, I'm at around 13% body fat now. But when I was at 20% body fat, and I was like 300 pounds, the fat, I need about 3,300 calories a day to survive with my height and weight and things like that. So I could live, if you just cut cold turkey today, say I'm not eating anything else, I can live for 33 days, I think it came out to. I could live 33 days on just my fat stores. But now, the opposite of that is someone who has 5% body fat, they were only living about 8 days without eating anything, because they don't have enough stored energy. Now, that was good during a time in prehistoric times, when we didn't know when our next meal was going to come, or we might not get another meal for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Then that's good. That's good for that point. But I don't think many people fall into that category now. Most of us know when our next meal is coming 2 hours from now. So we never have to worry about that. So we don't want to carry extra energy stores. We don't want our batteries to be supercharged all the time. So diet and exercise will only deplete the battery. It will deplete the fat cell and it will shrink, but it's still there. If you have, like I said, 25 billion fat cells, you still got 25 billion, they're just smaller. So now when you walk around town, your fat cells are just depleted, that's all. So that's one way. But now here's a danger just with diet and exercise. Your brain is smart. If I say, you know what, I need 3,000 calories a day just to maintain my weight, and I say, well, you know what, I want to drop 2 pounds, so I'm going to drop my calories by 1,000 calories a day. So 1,000 calories a day times 7 days, that's 7,000 calories. I done dropped every 3,500 calories is 1 pound. So technically I should have lost 2 pounds at the end of the week. End of the week comes and I didn't lose no weight. I'm like, whoa, what happened? It's supposed to be energy in, energy out. But what your brain does, you say, okay, this clown here, he think he's smart. He think he's smart with his bad self. So what your mind does is say, okay, he's only taking in 2,000 calories a day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop his metabolism down. So now all he's going to need is 2,000 calories a day. He's only going to burn 2,000. And you might feel a little bit more lethargic and things like that because your body is slowing systems down so that you don't burn as much energy. So that's one way. So that's why diet and exercise really does not work. Next thing, you can actually have your fat removed. You can go to the doctor, pay them thousands of dollars, and they can actually liposuction. When they actually put the tube in and they go in and they sucking fat out, that fat will never come back. So if they withdraw 1 billion fat cells, those are 1 billion fat cells that your body will no longer use because it's not there. So now you might only have 24 billion fat cells. That's one way, and that removes the fat. Another way to destroy, or like I like to say, incapacitate fat cells is to use an injection called Kybella. Now at our corporate office, we don't do the procedure, but at our clinical office in Boca, we do this procedure. That's Kybella injections. You can get this done once every 6 weeks. What this does, you come into the office, you set up an appointment, you come into the clinic, and we actually give you this injection. Now, what this injection does, it dissolves fat. Basically, all it is, it's like bile. When you take in food, a fatty meal, your body puts out bile into your digestive system, and digestive system breaks down the fat in your meal so that it can be absorbed into your body, and the rest is just excreted out. Now, but what Kybella does is the same as the bile. If I give you injections in your belly, it destroys those fat cells in that area. And now they're incapacitated. So those cells can no longer take in fatty acids and engorge and get big anymore. They're incapacitated. And what your body ends up doing is, through macrophage, ends up going through destroying those fat cells, and you excrete them out through your urine or through your lymphatic system or through your feces. Those dead fat cells will come out that way. So that's almost like liposuction because it incapacitated those fats. You don't ever have to worry about those fat cells again because they're gone. Now, takes me down here to another thing, a popular thing that we have in the office, which is semaglutide or tirzepatide, or basically Ozempic and Mounjaro. What they do is they shrink the fat cells, they help you burn the fatty acids for energy, and the hypothesis is the other thing that it does is that it tricks your brain. Now, what happens? What do I mean trick your brain? If you just say, hey, I don't need semaglutide, I'm gonna go on a diet by myself and I'm gonna lose the weight. Yeah, you can do that and you can use discipline, but like I say, your brain is gonna shut your metabolism down. So if you're only taking 1,000 calories in a day, your brain is gonna make it so your body only burns 1,000 a day. And then when you take just a little bit more, you're gonna put on weight. People say, well, I don't eat that much, but I'm still gaining weight because you tried to trick your brain and it didn't work. But semaglutide and tirzepatide, they trick your brain. And what I mean by that is, when you're hungry, well, when you're on semaglutide, it decreases your appetite by about 30%. So you're not eating. So normally your mind would say, okay, this person's not eating, they're not getting enough calories, so I'm gonna lower their metabolism. But what semaglutide and tirzepatide does is it tricks your mind into thinking you're full. If you need 3,000 calories a day, your mind thinks you're still getting the 3,000 calories a day. But your body is saying, hey, listen, hey, we need some support here. We need some energy. And the brain is like, what are you talking about? I'm looking over the whole system, and the whole system says that you got enough energy, you have enough calories, so there's no need for me to lower the metabolism. So I'm still gonna burn 3,000 calories a day because that's what the system is telling me. And your body's like, no, we need it. So the body said, okay, since you ain't gonna help us out, you're not gonna be a team player, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have to burn extra fat. So what that does, what semaglutide does, since your brain ain't helping out lowering the metabolism, your body says, well, we gotta he's not getting enough carbohydrates, protein. Well, hopefully you're getting your protein, but you're not getting enough energy in, calories. So they're going to have to deplete these fat cells, which is going to cause them to shrink, and use this for energy, because the brain ain't making you go eat so that you can go get the calories to feed the body, but your body still needs the calorie. So now with semaglutide and tirzepatide, it's like diet and exercise, but it's better because, like I said, diet and exercise, your brain lowers your metabolism. With semaglutide and tirzepatide, your metabolism stays the same. It just makes your fat burning go into overdrive because your body still needs 3,000 calories. So if you're only taking 2,000 calories, it's going to have to get that extra 1,000 calories from either food or from your fat store. So that's what's going to happen there. And that's one of the things that we use. And we have clients that use that. Now, here's the question they ask. They say, well, if I get off of semaglutide, and will I gain all the weight back? And I'm going to be honest with you. Most of our clients, after they've been on semaglutide for a few months, they develop different behavioral patterns, meaning that they don't always think about food. They don't crave food. So when they get off of it, they've established a new pattern. So they really don't go back. They don't go back to eating the way they did prior to, or they're more cognizant about what they are eating. Like if they say, oh, I know if I eat that, that's 1,000 calories. So when you monitor things, you pay more attention to things that you monitor. And so that's a good thing. So after you come off semaglutide, you're going to be more conscious about what it is that you're putting in your body. So if you get off of semaglutide and you go back to eating the same way you did, this little fat cell here that has been depleted, you've lost your 50 or 60 pounds on semaglutide or tirzepatide. Now, this cell is going to start taking in fat again. And next thing you know, it's going to be engorged again, and you're going to be right back here. So anyway, semaglutide and tirzepatide is a tool to be used to help you lose weight, but it's not a tool that will maintain your weight unless you stay on semaglutide, which we do. We have a lot of clients that's on a maintenance dose of semaglutide, or if they do feel like their weight is starting to pick up, they'll call the office and say, hey, can I get a refill? And then we'll give them a refill so that they can come back down. So they're monitoring. So if they lost 50 pounds and all of a sudden, after they get off, a few months later, they didn't gain 10 pounds, they give us a call, say, hey, so at least they're monitoring it now, and then they get back on semaglutide, and boom, they drop that weight back again, and then they get back off again. And so that's how we work it. So if you have any questions, if this was not more than if I did not explain this so that at least a fifth grader can understand it, let me know. Then I'll go back to the drawing board, and I'll dumb it down some more so that even a fifth grader can understand it. Okay? I love y'all. I look forward to seeing y'all on the podcast. The next podcast is going to be exciting. If you've missed the other ones, you've definitely missed a treat. It's called Horace Unplugged. And that's where we just talk about real issues, no matter what it is, whether it's what's going on in Israel and the Gaza, or what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, or what's going on with Black Lives Matter, or what's going on with this woke generation, or whatever. We talk about it. Anyway, have a good day. That's it for me.